In recent years, immigration has become one of the most prominent political and social issues, particularly across many Western countries. Japan, however, has traditionally taken a very different approach. Rather than defining itself as an immigration country, Japan has built a system designed primarily around temporary foreign workers who fill labor shortages when necessary. To maintain social order, resident statuses are divided into detailed categories, each with clearly defined purposes, activities, and periods of stay. This framework has allowed Japan to address labor shortages while maintaining strict control over who can stay and under what conditions. Today, with the number of foreign residents exceeding 4 million, the Japanese government has begun introducing a series of major reforms. Requirements for permanent residency are becoming stricter. New rules allowing the revocation of permanent residency have been introduced. Immigration enforcement has been strengthened, and efforts to improve the management of foreign residents continue to expand. In this video, we will examine these recent reforms, compare them with Japan's previous rules, and explore the philosophy behind the country's evolving immigration system. More importantly, we will look at how Japan is attempting to build what it calls an orderly society of coexistence, and what that vision could mean for the country's future. Recent reforms. One of the most significant changes is the tightening of the requirements for permanent residency. Previously, applicants only needed to satisfy relatively broad standards, such as demonstrating good conduct, maintaining a stable livelihood, and showing that granting permanent residency would be in Japan's national interest. Under the new policy, however, applicants will be expected to continuously earn an annual income above the average for Japanese households. They will also be required in principle to demonstrate projected pension benefits equivalent to what someone would receive after contributing to Japan's employees' pension insurance for 30 years. Any shortfall may be supplemented with financial assets. In addition, Japanese language ability and understanding of Japan's legal and social systems will become formal evaluation criteria. Special provisions for spouses of Japanese nationals are also expected to become stricter, with the required length of marriage increasing from 3 to 5 years, and the minimum period of residence in Japan rising from 1 to 3 years. The revised guidelines are scheduled to take effect on October 1, 2026, and will generally apply to permanent residency applications submitted from April 2027 onward. Naturally, applicants seeking Japanese citizenship through naturalization will continue to undergo even more rigorous screening conducted by the Ministry of Justice, while also meeting these requirements. Another major reform concerns the revocation of permanent resident status. Beginning in April 2027, the grounds for revoking permanent residency will be expanded. Permanent residents may lose their status in cases involving the intentional non-payment of taxes, pension contributions, or public health insurance premiums, violations of obligations under immigration law, or convictions resulting in imprisonment for certain serious crimes. Although these measures are intended only for serious cases, they reflect a broader policy shift. Permanent residency is no longer viewed as a status that is guaranteed indefinitely once obtained. Instead, holders are expected to continue fulfilling their legal obligations throughout their stay. The government is also strengthening enforcement. Plans have been announced to increase immigration personnel by more than 200 officers, including approximately 50 immigration control officers and around 180 immigration inspectors. The goal is to improve the capacity to apprehend immigration violators and carry out deportations more effectively. These reforms are part of a broader direction taken under the Takachi administration's immigration policy. The government has proposed establishing an expert panel to examine numerical targets for accepting foreign residents, setting limits on both the specified skilled worker and employment for skill development programs, and improving the management of foreign residents. Rather than simply making immigration easier or more restrictive, the overall direction is becoming increasingly clear to tighten both entry screening and post-entry enforcement in pursuit of what the government describes as an orderly society of coexistence. Comparison with other countries. How does Japan's system compare with those of Western countries? In countries such as the United States, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Germany, immigration systems commonly rely on points-based selection or skills assessments. Compared with countries like Japan, where permanent residency generally requires 10 years of residence, these countries often provide pathways to permanent residency within a shorter period. In addition, Countries that follow birthright citizenship automatically grant citizenship to children born on their territory. As a result, deporting parents often becomes extremely difficult, as authorities must take the best interests of the child into account. Many of these countries also have broad family reunification programs, making it easier for relatives to join those who have already settled. Once people enter through these pathways, their stay often becomes long-term. Across much of Europe, deportation has also become increasingly difficult due to the European Convention on Human Rights and active judicial intervention. Even when public opinion favors stricter immigration enforcement, political and legal constraints often slow implementation. The United Kingdom provides another example. Despite being an island nation, it has struggled to stop illegal crossings by small boats, demonstrating that geography alone cannot solve immigration challenges. Japan, by contrast, follows the principle of jus sanguinis, meaning nationality is generally determined by parentage rather than birthplace. Children born in Japan do not automatically receive Japanese nationality or permanent residency simply because they are born there. Japan also requires a much longer period of residence, generally 10 years, before permanent residency becomes possible. At the same time, the government is moving toward placing greater emphasis on financial independence, Japanese language ability, and understanding of Japanese laws and institutions. In other words, Japan's system is increasingly designed to limit entry while making it easier to remove those who violate the rules, a fundamentally different approach from that adopted by many Western countries. Addressing Japan's labor shortage. Like many other developed countries, Japan also faces a labor shortage caused by a declining population. Despite this challenge, Japan has been able to implement and maintain such a strict immigration framework, largely because most foreign workers are admitted under resident statuses designed for temporary employment rather than permanent immigration. One example is the Technical Intern Training Program. Although officially established to promote the transfer of technical skills to developing countries, the program has also served as an important source of labor for industries facing worker shortages. Most technical interns remain in Japan for approximately 3 years before returning home. However, the program has long been criticized for restricting workers' freedom, including the general prohibition on changing employers, as well as concerns over disappearances and labor rights violations. Beginning in April 2027, the Technical Intern Training Program will be abolished and replaced by the new Employment for Skill Development Program. Under the new system, foreign workers will continue to develop professional skills while working in Japan, but they will also gain greater labor mobility. Workers who satisfy certain conditions will be allowed to change employers, making the system more consistent with the realities of the labor market. The reform is also intended to create a clearer pathway toward the Specified Skilled Worker Program. The Specified Skilled Worker Visa, meanwhile, was created from the outset to address labor shortages in designated industries. Type 1 status allows foreign workers to remain in Japan for up to 5 years. Type 2 status is reserved for highly skilled workers. It permits unlimited renewals and allows family members to accompany the worker. In practice, however, reaching Type 2 status is difficult. Applicants must pass specialized examinations conducted in Japanese and demonstrate substantial supervisory or professional experience. As a result, only a small fraction of workers ultimately qualify. Consequently, most foreign workers continue to rotate in and out of Japan after a limited period of employment. In essence, Japan's immigration system is built around resident statuses that do not assume permanent settlement. By strengthening deportation measures against immigration violators while maintaining temporary labor programs, the government seeks to supplement its workforce without encouraging large-scale permanent immigration. For sending countries, this approach may help reduce long-term brain drain by allowing skilled workers to eventually return home. For Japan, it offers a way to secure needed labor while limiting major demographic changes. Compared with immigration systems that encourage permanent settlement, Japan is attempting to build a framework that allows greater control over social cohesion, public safety, and the long-term sustainability of its welfare system. Future challenges. Many of these reforms are still in their early stages. The new permanent residency requirements and expanded revocation system are not expected to be fully implemented until 2027. Whether these measures will ultimately function as intended will depend on how consistently and rigorously they are enforced in practice. The transition to the Employment for Skill Development Program will also be closely watched to determine whether it successfully addresses the shortcomings of the former Technical Intern Training Program. The government is also studying what it calls quantitative management of foreign residents. Through an expert panel, policymakers are considering numerical targets for the overall number of foreign residents accepted into Japan, including categories beyond the specified skilled worker program. Discussions are also expected to cover regional allocation and upper limits for different residence categories. The objective is to keep the overall number of foreign residents within the country's capacity to integrate them into society. However, legislation alone is not enough. Without sufficient personnel and administrative capacity, even well-designed policies cannot be effectively enforced. Expanding immigration enforcement staff, strengthening deportation agreements with countries of origin, and improving coordination with local governments remain significant long-term challenges. Conclusion: building an orderly society of coexistence requires clear, fair, and consistently enforced rules, a system that carefully evaluates applicants' ability to support themselves and adapt to society before entry, and that can appropriately remove those who fail to fulfill their legal obligations afterward, helps create an environment in which both local residents and foreign nationals who respect Japan's language, culture, and laws can live with confidence. The series of reforms currently being introduced by Japan reflects this overall direction. Whether these reforms ultimately succeed will depend not only on the rules themselves, but also on how effectively they are implemented and refined in the years ahead.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Deep Focus Japan for more videos on Japanese society and current issues.